Now let's talk about alt tags. So what are alt tags and how can we create them and why should we create them? If I look at this image right here, the actual source code, you'll see that it has the image, and if you don't know HTML, don't worry about it. It's got the URL where the image is, and then it has something right here, alt equals quote thought cloud, which is basically describing the image. This is what I mean by alt text. So the reason you create this is a few reasons. One, some browsers or devices may not necessarily show this image. Like if they had a slow internet connection or something like that, this image wouldn't get showed. So if you use alt text, it will show that text in place of that particular image. So again, that's a small subset of people, but some people may not have their browser or whatever set to show images, and if so, that text would be displayed. Now that's a rare set of people. So what's more important is alt text is a way that you can tell Google what your image is. So Google has a few different ways of determining what an image is. One, the actual name of the image, that's a big criteria. But the other thing is alt text. And the reason you want Google to know what your images are is because you could potentially get a little bit of traffic from it. So let's just take Thought Cloud for example. Let's do a search for Thought Cloud. And if I go to the image search for Thought Cloud, you can see a lot of little Thought Cloud bubbles. But if I scroll down, boom, you can see that image of the Thought Cloud shown right here. So if someone was doing a search for Thought Cloud, they could potentially click that image and go to your website. Now, some websites are more ideal for image search than others. If you have a very technical website, then maybe it doesn't matter if you get image searches. But if you have, for example, a travel website, then that is a golden opportunity to capitalize on getting image search traffic, because people do a lot of searches for images online. And if you can get traffic from that, then you might as well take advantage of it. So that's some of the reasons on alt text. So how do we actually create this alt text? Well, again, it really depends on your content management system, but let's just use WordPress as an example in this page. So if I go to the edit page and I click the text tab, here is that HTML code that I was showing you for that particular image. And you can see all I had to do is alt equals quote and then the name of whatever I want it to be. Another way you can do this in WordPress is if you click Add Media and you select your image, you can actually type it out right here, your alt text. So I could say something like Thought Cloud if it was a picture of a Thought Cloud. And when I hit Insert into Page, that will automatically include, see, you can see right there, it automatically includes that HTML code. So if you don't know how to do it, or if you forget the HTML code, it does it automatically. So that's the details on how you actually create it. Now, one thing worth mentioning with SEO benefit is you could help your chances of ranking for example, neurofeedback, if you used an image and the alt text was neurofeedback. That might give you 1 or 2 brownie points with Google and helping rank for that term. But a good rule of thumb always is not to game the system. So if this image is not a neurofeedback image, for example, I wouldn't want to include neurofeedback in it. I want to use the alt text to actually describe what the image is. So again, this image isn't about neurofeedback. It's a picture of people walking in an airport. So I would want to have the alt text say something to that effect. People walking in an airport or something like that. Same here. I would want to have trees or something like that. I want to accurately describe what the image is. But if you have a restaurant, for example, and you have a picture of the building on the outside, and you're trying to target world's greatest burger restaurant, for example. Well, if you want to rank for that term, you could have a picture of the building and then in the alt text have world's greatest burger. That would be in line with search engines and also users, and would give you a little bit better chance of ranking. So every image on your website should have alt text. It only takes a couple seconds, but you could potentially get more traffic both in an image search, or it might help you rank for that particular page. So always use alt tags in your images and gain those SEO benefits.